Yeah, now you see my front camera as well. There was a technical glitch. I am so sorry. My phone thought it's time to go to bed, and it is. It's true, but not right now. We need to record this. Now that one person left, it's very, very frustrating, very discouraging. Maybe I should write X support, tell them no. I had one person in my life, but then there was a technical error. They left. This is gonna cost me dearly in my business. Revenue, a big fallout, might have to fire some people, right? That's the risk. So let's continue on a train of thought. Why for the child? And one other thought. Let's hold that thought, put it behind my right ear. We're gonna continue with that. The children, blocks in the body, how can you develop a strong voice, strong vocal projection? How is that achieved, right? Let's keep it behind the ear. But talking about the women, the ideal. What's the ideal? Physical ideal, beautiful women, right? They're tall, slender skeletons. Let's say it as it is, many of them, right? I'm not dissing any single person, but I'm kind of criticizing the image, social image, because it hurts a lot of women. I had a friend, female friend, when I was younger, and she was like heavily against this. She was like lobbying. And she was a very, very pretty girl. I think I mentioned that girl. I had a crush on her. She didn't have a crush on me. Very painful. Ouch, my heart, it's still aching slightly. Actually, it's not. It's a good sign, you know. All the years have buried the regret, the pain, the suffering. It's a distant memory now. Let's not go there. Change the subject, right? But what happens, right? You have this beautiful body. You have a fast metabolism. You speed it up with a diet, right? Boom, diet, fast food, energy drinks, fantastic. You have the quick metabolism. It gets metabolized. You still look beautiful. Some people, they can do it. Maybe you're a person where that's not the case. You're like, Lucas, I drink a lot of energy drinks and I'm fat as hell. Sorry, Instagram, please don't block me. I used to be fat. Honest piece of truth here. I was driving in the train home from school when I was, how old was I? 13, I think. You know, start of puberty, starting to get some, you know, more manly, but I was really fat. I had my belly, it was making like, you know, when the skin goes like this, because you're so fat, there's no space for your belly, right? And I felt so bad about that. I was just like, I'm fat, I'm disgusting. I really want to be loved, I want to be accepted. It was a painful experience. So there's no judgment from me. People who are not satisfied with their body in some whatever way, right? Still not joined that person. They left. They were like, this is unprofessional. Lucas, can't manage your live stream. I'm off from here. Or maybe they were like, before when I said, you know, I'm going to find you. They were like, oh, this is my chance, right? Now he can't track. His phone has gone down. I'm going to, you know, take the side exit. Finally, I can get off the live stream. Maybe that's what they did. Or maybe they were so sad that the stream ended. They were like, oh no, I really wanted to watch this. They were so desperate. And in that process, letting me pass, thank you very much. In that process, they dropped their phone. Maybe that's what happened. Probably, that's what happened. I will just tell myself that's what happened. So, but then you hit 30, you hit 35, and a few things happen, right? As a woman, I noticed this. Yes, it's painful to talk about it, but let's talk about it. So, time to get pregnant. It's time to get pregnant. If you want to get pregnant, it's about time. 35, well, it's the chances, and I've recently looked at a graph. I'm a curious soul, always exploring science, the wonders of science, medicine, amazing research, right? And yeah, there's a steep decline of the, what is it called? Window of fertility, chances that you get pregnant, and it's declining, right? And I think there are some issues in our modern society with what is being portrayed. If you're a woman, right? You grow up, you see these slender, beautiful skeletons, and you're like, we don't need men. We're so independent. which is great. No, I'm not saying anything about that. I know these are some difficult waters that I'm going into. Oh my God, talk about politics, talk about feminism, right? You shouldn't do that. Like my old business mentor, he was like, never talk about politics. Don't do it. But this is not politics. This is my personal opinion. If you don't like my personal opinion on X, no problem. Extremely, liberal. People are easygoing. Instagram, no, probably gonna get a report here. Another one, right? Haven't gotten anyone yet, but I think that's because the views are so low, right? So it's kind of an insurance. Please don't watch so you can't report. No, I don't wish that. I want you to watch. If you see that, don't be discouraged. Keep watching, please. Please keep watching. I have something important to say. And I'm gonna say it about any minute now, right? Just give me some time. I need to get grounded in my body. Oh, there's this tree that was distracting me yesterday. It's a beautiful tree. I don't know how it's called. Probably my father tried to teach me, but I didn't remember. I think part of that is being short-sighted. They were like, this is this tree, that's this tree. And I was like, it's all blurry. I'm like looking at it. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Please leave me alone. I'm like, yes, it's this tree. And I didn't remember, right? So that's that. You're hitting, and of course, here's a topic switch, right? Switching back to the other topic. I should announce that. Maybe I should count them. I'm like, first topic switch, second topic switch, third topic switch. Maybe that helps. Maybe it's even more distracting. You're like, oh, this format is already jarring. My friend is like, what is this format? What are you doing there? It's a life log, deep philosophical life log, very educational, very, very entertaining, transformational. Maybe if we can find a few more adjectives, positive adjectives only, please. And then you hit 35, 36, 37, 38, right? And it's about time you get pregnant. I'm not saying that, if you're like a woman, you're watching that, you're like 30, 38, I'm not saying you have to get pregnant, of course, right? It's your decision, right? But if you want to get pregnant, it's about time, right? Unless you freeze your eggs. I've talked to women, they're like, one friend of mine, a doctor, very successful woman, very pretty woman, but having difficulty finding a proper man that wants to commit to her, that is really, a guy that's nice. Oh, and women have this problem. I know it, but I don't know it myself. Gladly, you really want the guy that you can't have. That's one thing, right? All the amazing guys that you're so attracted to, they don't want to commit. Why is that, right? And then you have the other thing, you have the guy that wants to commit and you're like, yes, you want to commit, but no thank you. Please leave me alone. You're way too, needy, attached. And there's many reasons for that, right? Men who have higher status, more value to give, maybe more attractive, better social skills, better genes, then more choice. Maybe they don't want to commit so easily, but and I thought that, right? But there's other patterns that are going on. Oftentimes what you want is out there, but you're not letting it in, There's those guys that are actually amazing guys and they're really attracted to you. This is going to become like a show for women or something. I should have to do a rebranding, maybe dating coaching for women. But there is strong competition. I'm scared. There is this guy, what is his name? Matthew Hussey. Extremely, very pretty, muscular man, He's probably going to get aggressive if I start doing the female content. So I think I have to stay out of that. No, but he's great. He also got some stuff on business. There is one video. Let's take the wild path, this time. There is one video that is like Entrepreneurship 1.0. Matthew Hussey, Hussey. And there is a second one that is called Entrepreneurship 2.0, right? There's two talks. It was at a men's conference. Doesn't mean you need to be a man to watch that. If you're a woman, you can also watch that if you're an entrepreneur. And yeah, he's pretty good. But what is often the case is that we are rejecting that what we want. So there is a man, let's say he's pretty cool, right? He's got his stuff together, you know, he's got the proper income, he's socially adapted, right? He's got some balls, some confidence, maybe big balls, maybe if you like that. Sorry, very offensive. It's just free flow, unfiltered from my mind. I apologize. I think I apologized in the beginning. Maybe I should do a, disclaimer at the beginning, so I don't have to say anything while I'm doing that. That's a good idea. Efficiency boost. I can write it with AI really quick. This is the spot where I plucked the dandelion yesterday. I remember, amazing memory. I recognized the spot immediately. You know, it's a little easier because this is where I always walk. So slightly less challenge, which is good. Now I'm in the flow state, probably, right? The skill challenge ratio is perfect. It's the right level of challenge. So yeah, you have that man, and that man is interested in you, but you're like, no, I want to, and you're not saying that consciously, but unconsciously you're like, no, I want to repeat my childhood trauma patterns because I want the unavailable man that is unavailable like daddy was. Please, and so I can fix it, right? So I can finally make daddy love me. And I'm being facetious here, but it's the same for men, right? It's the same for me. I'm like, please, can you let me? I'm now having second thoughts. Should I say these things, right? But I will just be very honest, very upfront. I will use language sometimes. This is the disclaimer. Now my brain has assembled it. I will use language that is just very straight, very direct, very honest, sometimes a bit offensive. I'm sorry. It's the same reason Tony Robbins uses swear words, right? At his seminars, the dog was like, come on, what's going on? Felt intimidated or maybe amused in his territory, but he's walked on. Gladly he hasn't attacked me. So, yeah, why does he use that language? Well, it's because it triggers emotion. Sometimes a little harsher language triggers emotion. Anthony Robbins, he triggers a lot of emotion, right? Because he's swearing all the time and for other reasons, right? But it's like you do some change work. So under that umbrella, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to say, yes. For me, the same thing. I was not joking about this. I'm doing that, you know, looking for that woman, looking for that magical breast that I can latch onto, where I can feel safe, where I can finally, and this is the perfect introduction, I think, for my online dating life, you know. Let's put that on there. Very authentic, brilliant, beautiful. It's a great introduction. Here, this is me, this is my life. Maybe you can offer a breast that I can latch onto to heal my childhood trauma. Please, trying to win you over. So yeah, finally, mommy loves me. Would you want to be my mommy, right? And this is maybe the last line. You always need a CTA at the end, right? Call to action. So I'm already playing with that thought. So this is something that many people have, right? And you're like, I'm always attracting these relationships. It's so screwed up. What is wrong with men? No. What is going on with you? You know, what's going on in your mind, in your subconscious, the subconscious mind, what's happening there, huh? Right? And you don't want to hear this. You're like, Lucas, shut up. Don't talk about this. It's men. It's men like you. Maybe. I'm guilty as charged. Still, if you have a titty to latch onto, more than happy, right? Sorry for saying that. Please excuse. But no problem on X. We're going to see how my revenue is affected by this. I'm going to make a analysis, right? Look at my KPIs. Then I'm going to see, is it good to continue doing these videos? Should I maybe stop doing them? Negative effect on my revenue. The revenue has tanked. It's negative. We're doing red numbers, right? Let's stop these videos. Let's make them politically correct, please. You know, talk differently, talk about other things. Maybe explore a hobby, you know, some collection. It's my stamp collection, you know, harmless enough. Here is my stamp collection. These are my favorite stamps. Maybe we're gonna go there if we have to. You know, money comes first. As you know, it's one of my most important values. See, in that way, if money is your most important value, you're not even giving up on your values. If somebody says, come on, can you do this for me? You're like, no, you can buy him, right? No, it's not that way, right? Money is his or her, you know, let's gender it. The most important value of this person, right? Huh? You're fucking, sorry for the swearing. Oh my God, so bad. There's a fire. People are making a fire. It's burning. I think it's too much fire. Maybe that's illegal already, right? It's burning very high. If you grill something on that, it's probably gonna get black, but there you go. Or maybe they wait, right? There's a plan to this, I think. There's a process that you have to follow, like with everything in life. So you look at these patterns and you're subconsciously drawn and to people that make you miserable, right? You're like, what's going on? And you're subconsciously, and I've experienced that, like seriously, this is so crazy. Like you're repelled by people that are good for you, right? You meet the woman, you meet the man, that's amazing. And you're like, this is so boring, right? But I say, one, maybe that person is really boring for you, right? That person, maybe for another person, they're like, this person is super cool. Very fair thing. Not everyone is everybody's cup of tea. I think that's how the saying goes. But yeah, that's the one thing. Maybe they're just boring. The other option, is it's your pattern, you know? Your nervous system, and I've read about this. I've talked to Claude about this. Claude did the deep psychological analysis for me. Was like, Lucas, these are all the ways you're screwed up. And it was a long document, and I was scrolling through it. Tears, little crocodile tears coming down here, collecting where they're supposed to anatomically correct, coming down. And you know, it's a very sad process, but very insightful. And it told me things like I'm just telling you. And I was like, this is correct, Claude. You're correct. I have this pattern. I recognize it. And it's bad. I don't like this pattern. I don't want to be with somebody who rejects me, who I have to win over. You know, it's not good for me. I need love. I need acceptance. I need that nourishing, thing that I can. Yeah, let's not talk about this. This is me talking. There's no mask here, But there can be a mask. If you pay the right amount, like I said, I can do whatever. Money, my biggest value in life, right? Oh my, and this view. The two most important things in my life. Let's say three. My son, first. Second is money. And the third is this view here, right? If I can have this is my view. That's the place I'm gonna die, Just gonna hang out here at the railing, right? And my last breath, and then I fall in there. Hopefully I'm dead before I hit the water. I don't want to drown. That's a horrible way to die. I shouldn't say that. People are like, no, you can't say that on the internet. Well, it's the reality of life, right? That's how it is. And yeah, it's not very refreshing, to be honest. It's scary. But the promising part of that is my dead corpse gonna float all the way to the Black Sea there. Very peaceful, floating around, if you would look at it. It's an interesting visual. Let's not explore this further, because otherwise people maybe get depressed. They're like, no, then somebody's gonna come. You're telling people to kill themselves. No, that's not what I'm saying, right? Don't find something beautiful. Look at the sunset. The two sides of life. Here's the beauty, the sunset. Other side, there's the Dead Sea. There's death, right? And we're in the middle. We're doing this dance. Now I'm in the middle of the bridge as well. We're doing this dance, right? We're like between life and death. And they say life is an attempt at contra death. Life is trying to evade death. Life is the opposite of death, right? Obviously. And there's another saying. What is it? Matthew Walker, sleep researcher. What did he say? Sleep is nature's best effort yet at contra death, right? Why did he say that? Because sleep is incredible for repairing our body, right? The time is gnawing at us, trying to disintegrate chaos, entropy, and the body is trying to maintain order. It does it via certain processes. Sleep is one of the most important. No sleep, your brain can't heal itself, your body can't detox. Many, many bad things happen, right? So, these patterns, you're a woman, you're a man, you're attracting people that, you don't want to attract. But you can't help it. So what do? Well, you have a conversation with Claude. That's a cheap alternative. Again, some flies were flying around here. That's a cheap alternative to going to a therapist. Am I saying do AI instead of, and I'm developing a product on that, by the way. Please buy my product. It's very good. I'm not saying don't go to a therapist. AI is better than a therapist, but it's pretty darn close. It's pretty close, right? Just wait for the AI boyfriend, AI girlfriend. I watched some videos about that. I was disgusted and horrified, also intrigued. I admit it. I was like, okay, what's going on there? Right? So, yeah, but the other thing, harking back to, okay, you're like 30, 34, 35, metabolism gets slower over time, and if you had bad nutritional habits, your metabolism was quick, you were young, fresh, as a woman, as a man, it's the same, I guess, then you start to get more corpulent, right? You start gaining weight, and that's a depressing thing, or can be a difficult thing. So please, eat healthy, eat the most healthy food you can find, maybe not the monkey meat, like I said. I don't even know if that's healthy, right? I'm not going to riff on that so much. There's not too many people here. I see when there's a lot of people, I'm like, yes, now I can say some offensive things. There's a part of my mind that kicks in that just says, you got to say this, I'm like, today, not enough incentive to do that. I'm not going to go there. It's too offensive, Let's not think about that. All the ways you can eat the monkey, all the ways you can cook the monkey, right? Let's not talk about this. It's not a good topic to talk about. So basically what I wanted to say earlier is, and I'm always trying to make these shorter. I'm like, no, today we're going to do it shorter. And then I want to wrap up one topic, but from that one topic, it's like a plant, right? It starts growing, but then let's do like this, and then a second one. And it's like so many new, how you call it? There's so much new life coming from that one big strand. It's hard to get back to the original strand. So, but I'm trying very hard to do that. Like I said, in the evening, I'm very active. My mind is very active, thinking about things, many things, right? Thinking about work, thinking about what I value in life, the 3 things I value in life: my son, money, this beautiful view here. 3 things that are important to me. So my mind is just very active, and I get up later. When I get up late, I'm like, okay, I want to go for a run. I need my fresh energy in the morning to work. If I go for a run, it's going to get late, That's a challenge if you work for yourself. If you're at a job, you're like, yes, gotta be in the office, It's annoying, I get it. It's also good. External structure makes it easier. There's some pressure. If you're late, people are like, he's late, she's late, what's going on? Your boss is like, you can't be late all the time. You're gonna get fired. You're not gonna have any food. You're not gonna have shelter. The stakes are high. Big risk. So you're like, am I gonna sleep in? Probably not. Risk is too high. I'm not gonna do it. But it's difficult to deal with that if you work for yourself. You're like, am I gonna sleep in today? There's nobody there. Nobody says you shouldn't do that, You have your bed is whispering, bed is saying, come on, stay a little longer. Nothing's gonna happen. Your business is gonna be fine. It's just one day, just today. Sleep a little longer, take a little extra time, and it's dangerous, silently killing you, this behavior. Very bad, but hard to spot it. But you gotta do it, because there's no one else that's going to do it, right? It's like certain diseases, like smoking. cigarette is lying there. It's really nice. You're like, I'm just gonna light this one. It burns. It's so beautiful. Like some people say, why do you smoke? Oh, well, because I like the taste. I'm like, really? You like the taste of the burnt whatever, But you can acquire that taste. Fire is still going strong. Very impressive. A lot of wood going in there. Oh, then the other one is really smoking. Like, very interesting. A lot of smoke. Not sure what's going on there. But it doesn't look dangerous. So people have it under control. I have complete trust, faith. I have faith in humanity. So you have to do it yourself. You have to set that structure yourself because nobody else is going to do it. And the negative effects, they're going to come, but they're going to come later. In a few years, few months, you're like, whoops, it's not working out. My business is not working out. Why? Because you've been sleeping in, right? Because you haven't been disciplined enough or whatever. So you got to do that. You got to find a nice balance. And then you go into one side. You're like, oh, now I'm too disciplined, working too hard. You go into burnout. Then you're not disciplined enough. It's not easy to find that balance. Even in a job, sometimes some jobs can be demanding. My last job was very demanding. Working weekends, a lot of weekends. Wasn't so pleasant for me personally, but I learned a lot. It was a great experience, incredible people. So I'm not complaining. Not today, maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow might be a good day to complain, But let's put it off to tomorrow. Let's complain tomorrow. Like people say, I'm gonna do this tomorrow, right? Let's put the negative stuff to tomorrow. Let's say, no, gonna complain tomorrow. Today, I'm gonna leverage this day, right? So now I'm feeling that what I'm talking about is not so close to my heart. I don't want to do that. Let's switch topic. There is something that's more important to me. What is it? Right now, for me, and I'm also thinking what's going to be valuable to you. What can I share? What is good information, good content, some life advice. Here is how to live your life straight from the source, because I know, right? Always dangerous looking to other people to tell us what to do. We kind of want it. We're like, please, just make it simple for me. I want to simplify my life, but it's complex, right? But we can simplify, we learn, we deduct, we create mental models, map of reality, that's what it's called in neuro-linguistic programming, another view of the area. So these things are really important to me, like understanding how the world works, understanding how to get results in the world. Some things are easier, right? You're born in a certain way. You're really pretty, let's say, like me, for example, very pretty. You have a lot of choice, all kinds of people coming to you. They're like, please, can I spend time with you? You're like, oh my God, I'm so annoyed. Please leave me alone. I just need some time for myself, right? Big problem. Or maybe you don't have that. I wouldn't know how that is if people don't approach you all the time. They're like, please spend time with me. Please, can I have your child? Please, can I make a child with you? It would be the other way around, right? Other gender. Let's include both genders. This is a very inclusive life, including everything. Also the surroundings here, everything is included. The positive, the negative. My watch, we're looking everywhere. Very good. Yes, also in the distance, you see the big phallic symbols. Men are building these huge towers. There's some theories like, why are they doing it? They want to have a symbol in the world. It's like, here I was. There's this huge tower. I may be dead, but this huge tower, it shall remain, right? Is it true? I don't know. I don't think about that too much. I don't think I need such a huge tower to be there when I'm dead. I don't see the value in that. But of course, if you're like, hey, do you want to have such a huge tower? I'm like, yes, why not? Give it to me. Maybe I can find some use for it. Maybe we can, turn it into something useful. Something that people would like a factory where people can work all day, They can also sleep there next to their work. Very efficient. Yes, we can make a lot of money. Like I said, my 3 values. Money is high up there. That would be my vision, contributing to the world, right? Let's do more of that. Maybe a phone factory, right? But we're going to establish a sovereign state there. It's not part of this country, not part of Austria. It's a different state, different labor laws, right? Don't have to pay taxes. It's a sovereign state, you know. Maybe you need some military capacity then as well to defend itself. It's a very small state in the middle of another state. There's going to be some fighting. Then there's going to be like an Independence Day, right? Can have a different calendar, can have a different time zone, everything, right? Like a time zone, different time zone, only 12 hours in a day, right? You put away with the night, do away with that. You can just work all day once you're there. Very good. People are going to experience burnout. Well, gonna find a solution for that, right? But I'm joking. But yes, is it true in some parts of the world people are working very hard? Yes. Too hard? Yes, probably, right? Is it unfair? That's a very complex philosophical topic, right? Saying that the world is unfair, while it's kind of true, it can also make you very unhappy and very depressed if you think that way, right? So it's not a good paradigm, in my opinion, right? What signifies, what identifies a good paradigm, having a good paradigm about something in life? Paradigm is how you explain something. Why is it that way, right? You know, one paradigm, let's say you're a girl, you're a guy, you're like, no, people don't like me, I'm not so, so popular, right? One paradigm is, oh, I'm ugly, that's why, right? It's a simple paradigm, but it makes you feel bad. It doesn't expand your options, what you can do in the world, your behavior. It's not a good paradigm, right? Different paradigm is very complex one. Okay, which one I was suggesting in the last or 2 lives ago. I kind of had some traumatic experiences in my childhood, some pain. My body's blocked. Oh, now we're getting back to what's behind my right ear, right? About the blocks and the vocal projection, right? There's the presents that I was promising in my last life. They're coming now, you know. Just be patient, a little more patience. Just watching these 2 hours before you get the present. Well, it's like Christmas present. You know, it's the biggest joy is waiting for the present to come. So that is one way to explain it. You had these trauma patterns. You get needy, you get desperate, survival instinct kicks in, and other people recognize that as a sick animal in the herd, right? It's not a good, doesn't create a good reaction from others. And there's deeper psychological reasons for that, you know, maybe even genetic, wired into our genes, into our biology, human behavior, social behavior. And that is a more nuanced, complex paradigm to explain that. And more importantly, when you adopt a paradigm, choose a paradigm that gives you the ability to change it. Because if you choose a paradigm, you're like, this is the way it is, you know, rich people are assholes. Or rich people are unfair, like you put so much stuff there. You're like, no. If you want to get rich, you need to have gone to a great school, right? You need this, you need contacts, you need connections. And that's called a limiting belief. It limits you. It's a paradigm that is not giving you options because you're like, okay, right? I didn't go to a good school. I don't have connections, therefore I can't do it, right? Great solution. Solution to what? Well, to feeling like you should do something with your life, to feeling like you can actually change it. Because if you feel you can do something about it, then it's on you, right? It's on you to change something. It's on you to do something. Because if you don't, then you're not going to feel good about yourself. But if you have a paradigm that says, it's not possible, I can't do it anyways, that's a fantastic excuse, right? Because now you don't have to do anything, because you can't do it anyways. So these are very harmful and they're, pernicious. They're like very stealthy, these thoughts, right? Because they have you have a secondary gain. That's how it's called in psychology. You get a secondary gain from that negative worldview, from that pattern, because it's not your fault, right? It's the world's fault. It's your parents' fault. It's the fault of the other bad people out in the world, right? Are they at fault? Maybe a little bit, you know, if it makes you feel better. But in the end, It's not. It's your fucking fault, you know, nobody else's. Please don't take it the wrong way. This is something empowering, can feel difficult at times. I know, right? Hard pill to swallow. But in the end, responsibility is empowering, you know, always. And if it makes you angry, it's good. Anger is better than apathy, right? If you look at the, levels of consciousness by, I forgot, the gray-haired, nice older guy who's already dead. Bless him. Dr. Hawkins, right? Yes, is it esoteric, spiritual? Maybe. Is it a bit woo-woo? Yes, maybe. But there's some truth to it, I think. And anger certainly, they say, resonates higher than apathy. Because apathy, you do nothing. But please be careful what you do with your anger. Anger can also be very negative if you use it against other people. And it's almost pitch black now, right? So if you use that against other people, not so good. But if you use it to break through limiting patterns, if you use it to change your behavior, to make something happen, something positive, right? Then it's beautiful. It's better than being in apathy, being in shame, feeling like, oh my God, I can't do anything about this. And your paradigm is what either enables you or what disables you. So if you have a negative paradigm, well, you can change it. How? By taking responsibility. Read Extreme Ownership. It's an amazing book. I'm not pro-war. It's by 2 Navy SEALs. Was quite a popular book for some time. It's a great book. It's about taking complete ownership of everything. Taking a position of leadership in your life. You don't have to be a leader of a team, leader at the company. But you can take, and now we have, the lights are back for some time. We have a visual. Houston, we have a visual, right? So if you take responsibility, you get empowered. Maybe first you get angry, but ultimately you will get empowered. Now let's link this back to what's behind my ear. Vocal projection, right? Look at children. Children, they are unhinged, right? That's what I'm talking about, the mask. They're just sharing. They haven't made all these traumatic experiences that have taught them what they shouldn't do, right? Sounds very negative, but maybe there are some traumatic experiences that happen, right? In your life, in people's lives. But whatever, right? Life teaches us, this is not so good, I made a bad experience. Ouch, I shouldn't touch the hot stove. And how they manifest often in our body is contraction. Now, if your body is like loose, you know, the body vibrates with your voice and your body becomes a big resonance chamber. It's like your voice can transcend and your body is like vibrating with that. Don't ask me about the physics. I'm not a physics professor. Maybe in a past life I was a really smart physics professor with some strong glasses, smoking a pipe, you know, whatever. Maybe it's a good idea. Writing on the chalkboard, right? Talking to his students, maybe flirting a little bit with his students. Nothing serious, right? Just a charming elderly man, very intelligent. I can imagine that, right? Makes me feel good about myself. So I'll just indulge that. So their bodies resonate, children's bodies resonate. And that means sometimes you can see a child and it has a louder voice than a grown-up, right? Different. Resonance, it's a higher pitched voice, not a low pitched voice, but it's going to be loud. Children, they can shout, you know. And there's some videos, one guy I used to love, not in a homosexual way, nothing against that, but one guy really, I like his work, his body of work, although he has been shunned by the public for various reasons that I won't go into, because there are some, you know, forces that shape what is okay in our society, because, well, and these change, right? In the Middle Ages, some things were all right, you know, witch hunts, totally fine, let's do it, you know, it's a good idea. Oh my God, getting into some great topics for the lives, absolutely not political, you know, witch hunts, monkey flesh, you know, talk about some feminism stuff, probably hitting all the things you shouldn't talk about in a life. We're doing it today. It's a good day to do that, good day to take some risk again, right? The car can't accelerate that fast. It's not an electric car. I'm safe. So, yeah, witch hunts was totally normal at that time. Completely bonkers when you think about that. Crazy, crazy stuff. And I read it even like it eliminates certain genetic lines, you know. Like there are some amazing people that were like very intelligent, intuitive people. They had great knowledge, maybe even some great genetic traits, and they were, you know, they're gone now, right? No more in our gene pool, in humanity's gene pool. Well, is that a good thing? No, I don't think so. I think, like I said, diversity is fantastic. This is my view. Not all people think that way. Oh, now we're going into another, we don't want to go there, right? This is even too heavy for today. But, I mean, that's what happens, right? Because if you drop that kind of mask that tells you, you can't talk about this, you can talk about this, you can talk about this, but you can talk small talk. That's fine, right? Let's talk about the fucking weather. That's fine, right? But once you put that mask away, like people get drunk, that's one way to put it away, right? Not so easy. Whoops, I was distracted there. Not so easy to do that without alcohol, right? So, but if you start doing that, whatever way you do it, you know, you sing, you dance, you're in a very free-flowing state. And sometimes when that happens, those thoughts from the collective, they pop up because now it's like, oh, now Lucas is getting woo-woo. The collective, you know, let's talk about archetypes to maybe ground it a little bit more. Young, that was a nice fella. You can't say I'm woo-woo. He's on the borderline, right? We can say a little bit woo-woo, but still scientific, right? So I kind of got the corner there, right? But those things, they come up because they're there. People don't talk about them, but they're on people's minds, right? Because if you contract something, and that's interesting. That's one thing a therapist, like a breath therapist, who was working with trauma in the body, that's what she told me. She's like, if you constrict it at one place in the body, it's like a balloon. It comes out at another, right? If you suppress emotions, it's going to come out at some point as a disease, as a rage attack, you know, like that old movie with that guy that was unpacking his gun at McDonald's. I don't know, there was a classic. I forgot the name, right? With Douglas, actor guy. I forgot his name. Like I said, if you watch my lives, you know I'm not good with actors' names. Maybe I should get a coach for that, right? Somebody who teaches me all those actor names properly so I can use them accordingly to how they're supposed to be used. That would be nice. So, yeah, this stuff comes up, and that's why these topics, I suppose, are coming up, because I'm entering a space that is a bit unhinged, and there is stuff lives. It lives in the dark recesses of the mind, in the collective unconscious. We're tapping into the collective unconscious. And I was doing some work some time ago, and that was all about, okay, what's your archetype? I was like, yes, shaman. That's my archetype. And it's interesting. Some people, they're more like the 4 archetypes, the warrior, the magician, the lover, and what's the last one? Can't be that important, right? No, I'm just kidding. Of course it's important. Warrior, magician, lover, and for the love of God, it's not coming to me. But there's archetypes, and you can say, yes, this is a magician archetype. Maybe, right? But it's like a shaman energy tapping into the unseen world. You know, shaman can be either a technical shaman that can be scientific understanding, or shaman can also be in the metaphysical, like the mind, the spirit, human spirit. And what did they say that was really interesting? There's a great YouTube. Oh my God, if you like archetypes, if you're into that kind of stuff, write me. I will send you an amazing documentary on YouTube, free documentary that compares movie characters with archetypes. It is fantastic. And they say the archetype, the magician archetype, that is dealing with the metaphysical, with the mind. So that's a shaman, right? That's maybe psychotherapists today, maybe a little bit. But they're not fully tapped into that. They're very analytical, many of them, except my last therapist. He was great. He was also into yoga, some stuff like that, meditation. Great guy. But still wasn't able to fix me. Big challenge skill ratio, very high, you know. No, I'm just kidding. He was great. I learned some amazing things with him. But what they have to do, magician in the metaphysical. And magician archetype is, as you can tell, he's thrifty, he's creative. I'm more of a magician. I'm not like a warrior kind of type. Yes, I'm aware I have a very strong and attractive body, I know, I'm fully aware of that. But it's not my main archetype, I think. Maybe there's some of that in there. Competitive spirit, maybe a little bit. But I like to play, I'm playful, creative. Like that fires me up, that gets me going. And lover archetype is more sensitive, seeking connection, communication, things like that, right? And people are mixed. Like people have different archetypes. They have kind of a mixture of archetypes. Like one archetype woven in with another warrior mixed with a magician, like me, for example, a little bit, right? Or you can have the lover archetype, which is just maybe can feel a lot of things from other people. They want to create harmony. They want to create social harmony, cohesion. Very important, extremely important people for groups, right? They like to reconciliate people. They're like, what do you call it? Mediator person. But what they have to do, magician on the metaphysical level, is they have to start again each time. Because science goes on, right? You store that knowledge. But on the metaphysical, like people, they always start from zero, so to speak. Yes, there is generational stuff that you give to your children. We've learned some things about the psyche, all these things. But basically, with each generation, you have to go through the same process of finding a way to live, basically, to deal with life in a constructive way. And that can be challenging, right? So the children, coming back to the children, we're wrapping it up. We're on the home stretch, talking way longer than I should have talked that I wanted to talk, but it was a great session, got into a flow state here. So many people watching. I was so fired up, just kidding. not so many people watching on X, but they will watch in the future. I'm certain of that. I have this vision. Wrote the thread about Elon Musk today. Big inspiration. Nobody believed it, that he was gonna pull it through with Tesla. Some people hate it. Instagram people watching this, they're like, come on, don't talk about Tesla. Horrible cars, horrible brand, horrible person. X people are like, woo, let's go talk more about it. Where's this thread? I want to read it. Well, but this basically the same. I'm having this vision here. I'm imagining myself. I'm in the same position as Elon. I have this vision here, this amazing lives going on, and I'm putting in the work. It's happening, and it's gonna be beautiful. Deeply, oh my God, what is it called? An ambulance? Yes, hopefully everybody's fine. Putting in the work, very committed, convicted. That's the word, conviction. That's what I was looking for. So, wrapping that up, the children, they're unhinged, also in their body, they're not constricted, they don't have all these traumatic patterns. That's the one thing, when you can resolve those, when you can open your body. How do you do that? Well, you can desensitize yourself to triggers that make you choke up. Like some people, they can't get their voice out, right? And this guy that I talked about, Julian, I can also send you his channel, amazing guy. He works with trauma, healing trauma for people. He used to work as a dating coach, and then he was like, well, you can teach people dating skills, but you can also just help them resolve their trauma, and then they're naturally attractive. What an amazing insight. Really smart guy, very charismatic guy. Doesn't give a shit. I really like this guy, very smart. Have also seen this guy live. Fantastic guy here in Vienna. He was here. Very smart, very nice guy. So, very expensive. Wouldn't recommend it. No, just kidding. It's good when you have something to offer to charge a healthy amount for it. Reminding me of the money. DMs are always open. You can always wire some money. Bitcoin. Great time to wire me some Bitcoin. Please. Let's do it before it rises even more, good idea. But they're unhinged, right? How do you get unblocked? Well, you deal with your trauma in whatever way, there's different ways. Breath therapy, you can do tapping, EFT tapping, might have to do that a lot. It works, but you got to do it a lot. And there is like an obstacle. Woo! And I got over that, very good challenge. Challenge skill ratio is optimal, I'd say flow state achieved, second time today. It's a big win. Yes, win for me. So that's one way you resolve those blocks, you resolve those traumatic memories that are blocking your voice from resonating freely. Second thing is you can just practice it like I'm practicing now, Yes, is it gonna annoy one or two people if I'm talking loudly? Well, hopefully not, because I try to be considerate. But if it annoys somebody, yes, you cannot live your life in a way where you annoy nobody. That's very difficult. But I'd say don't annoy people on purpose, I try not to do that most of the time, right? Unless if you're my girlfriend, I will annoy you on purpose all the time. Just joking. It's not gonna happen. Technology is a miracle. If you're a friend of mine, I will also annoy you. Of course, that's not gonna happen too. Very nice to my friends, especially to my friends. If you give me 3 things, which is my son is well and healthy, money, and if I get to see my favorite spot, sunset there, beautiful, 3 things. And the other thing that you can do is, like I said, you practice it, you get better at it, you get a little bit desensitized, you're not so scared anymore. Because if you're scared, your voice is gonna become less resonant, less loud. Of course, because if people can hear you and you're scared, you don't want people to hear you, but you can't convince people. If you're like, oh, I'm so scared, making myself small, gonna be difficult to have authority to reach people. If, like I said in the beginning, if you're a man, if you're a woman, you want to have a louder voice, well, you can work on it. And another thing that you can do, which is really weird, I learned in voice development, you can be training your diaphragm. So start breathing only through your nose. Don't breathe too much through the mouth. There's research on that. Parasympathetic nervous system is activated when you breathe through the nose, and the sympathetic, like you get stress response if you breathe through the mouth. Not good. Too much mouth breathing, not good, right? You want to breathe through the nose. And the other thing, using your diaphragm, you can do like a woof, woof, woof. Let's not do it too loud, otherwise police is gonna come. But you're barking, basically. Or you can you can do like a dog. It's really weird, but it trains your diaphragm. And when you speak, you should be compressing the air out of your lungs from your diaphragm, right? And I'm gonna practice more. My vocal projection, gonna work more on that, because the voice is extremely important. The 2 prime ways to communicate, of course, body language. Yes, we need that. We can train that, right? But as you see, I was raising my eyebrows. I'm like, brain is already applying it. And you might be surprised if you look at your brain, it really does what you intend to do. If you're like, no, not achieving my goals, things aren't happening, just try to look out for the ways that your brain is actually already trying to serve you. Because once you get into that state of mind, you're like, yes, my brain is helping me. It's a team effort, You've already won the internal war. And like Sun Tzu says, I don't know if you talked about the internal war, but there's some saying, win the internal war, then you can win the external war, And the loser, they try to win the external war first, right? So first win it in your mind with yourself, get yourself on your side. That's what I'm saying, right? So you're gonna go to, you basically just train your diaphragm and you get more air through your, you can exude more, I don't know the word, exhale. It's not exhale, it's a different word. You can get more air out, and so your voice can be louder, right? And also loosening up those patterns, those constricting patterns throughout the body, very important, so you have resonance. So basically, if you feel good, if you're not scared, if you feel happy, your voice gets more rich, gets louder, and of course you can do other things to train it. Why is that so important? Well, the voice, what they call it is, it's an honest signal, right? Hard to fake it, hard to fake physiological responses, which is one reason why women, they look a lot, apparently, I haven't done the personal research, they look at the body language of men subconsciously, because it's really hard to fake it. It's hard to fake confidence, So that is an honest signal, and it will change how people perceive you socially. If you're perceived as a more high status person, I'm not saying, high status better than other people. I'm saying perceived as high status, here is the value. That's important. If you're a creator online, if you're in business, if you're selling something, or if you're just a person who wants to meet nice people, maybe same or different gender, doesn't matter, friendship, whatever you want to do. And it changes the response of other people because they notice, oh, this person is confident, I want to be around them. So it is a very important skill to train. It is a very important skill to develop. Sending you a lots of love. Have an amazing day. Everybody who's watching this on whatever platform I will be putting this out on, to get even the last views that I can get, so I can elate myself with that, kind of stack up my ego a little bit, feel good about myself. I'm gonna do that. Take care, sending lots of love, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.